This city has stories, and so do we. It's not just a podcast, it's a movement. Real stories, real people, real purpose, real purpose. Fill up a seat, get comfortable, let's talk purpose, pain, growth, and everything in between. From the heart of Atlanta to wherever you are, welcome to Stool Talk. Let's walk it out in purpose together. So today with us on Stool Talk, we're honored to have a special guest. Here on Stool Talk, we walk in our purpose, on purpose, and today's guest is definitely doing that. This man right here, he's always been a man of God, always been a man that I looked up to, that we all looked up to growing up, because he was a symbol of how to love God as a man, how to be a man, how to do things the right way, and how to be a great leader and use what God has given you, gifts, tools, and talents, and put them on the forefront and still give God the glory. And today we're going to be excited to talk to him about purpose and his journey. Today we have with us the one, the only Mr. Jesse Duckworth.
What's up? How you doing, man? Good to be here. Finally, we didn't. I don't even remember when you hit me up. It had to be at least 2-3 months or something like that.
Yeah,
and I'm still waiting. I'm like, what's up? You finally hit me up. I'm like, okay, now we all good now.
Yeah, and I see God is, consistently doing great things in your life. First, I wanted to say, many people that know you, they see you. You have made an impact in so many people's life. How does that feel? Do you even know the impact that you made? First of all,
yeah, I don't know. I guess it's like from the inside looking out, you just do what you do, like you help people, you encourage people, you do all these things, the day-to-day life, as a teacher, as an administrator at a school, you just do your job, and then you find those moments where you get a chance to, speak life to people. And then next thing you know, they graduate, and then the next group comes and graduates, and then they might see you at the store or something. And then it's like, hey, man, even the ones that got in trouble or something like that, they'd be like, man, I deserve that though, all that kind of stuff. So like, I think that when you're doing it hits you after you kind of like see people when they actually like say something. But deep down, I know that I've made an impact though.
Yeah. Where you are right now in life, you have been involved in sports, leadership, music, a lot of different things. Did you ever think you would be where you at today? And how did you kind of funnel with all the different things, gifts and talents that you got? Is it hard to, focus on one, or, to go for one when you got so many of them? How did this happen?
That was a very good question. Man, you hit me with some good ones. So basically, like I knew I had certain gifts and whatnot. Some things just developed along the way too. But then as I got older, it was like, especially once I moved to Atlanta, because to be honest with you, like I had a mission, which was like 4 years ago. But I was like, you know what, let me, because I was doing music before I left, and I was like, let me go back in that lane. And then I'm like, no, it's good to have options, I guess you could say. Like, I'm gonna use this gift, I'm gonna use that gift. So the decision I made was I'm gonna go, because I had like auditioned to be in a band, and it's not like it is in Toledo where everything is like, 25 minutes, 30 minutes away. You know how it is out here. Mm-hmm. The lady was like, hey, here's a schedule, whatever. And it was just all over the place. And don't get me wrong, like the opportunity would have been great. Like I could have been doing it like full time. Like she had a schedule. But then I was like, okay, like kind of pivoting now. I want to, do this acting thing too. And I said, I can't do both. I mean, I could, but I'm like, it's just different, man. Like I was like, I'm gonna be pinpoint. You know, they say some people are jack all trades, but master of none. You know, like I
Yeah.
didn't want to do that. I wanted to stay focused, and I did put the music aside. You know, people ask me all the time, like, what are you doing? But actually, let me correct that part. Let me rewind that back. I said I'm gonna use my musical gifts in the house of God, and so that's where I was like, because I got to keep my chops going no matter what. And that was the band, you know, it was a secular band, whatever. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I've done that, been there, done that. Let me find a house because that was my thing. I need to find a church. And once I found a church, then that's when I got involved. And I was like, you know what, I can still do both. So that works out for me. I don't know what anybody else be doing, but like that worked out.
Yeah. What would you say to the youth who might be struggling with how to choose or going through the same thing? What advice would you give to them about choosing or trusting and having faith in God going to lead them to the right direction when they might not know which one to go when they are gifted with multi talents?
I think that it's important to know your when you're gifted in a lot of things. I mean, it just makes sense to like focus on the things that you know you're really good at. Like some people want to do everything, and some people are like, you know, there's a measure of gifts that we all have. Some, you know, they could blow the walls down with they singing, but they might not be that good with playing music or something, or they're really good at, you know, mathematical things, but they're, you know, like I think you got to choose that thing that's just really you can do really well. But if, you know, time permitted, you know, I mean, like for me, you know, I get scripts, I get auditions and stuff like that. But at the same time, I make sure that I set time aside to rehearse so that I'm ready for, you know, Sundays.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it just depends. You know, I don't want to like tell somebody like don't do this, don't do that, but I just think, you know, those things that are you're really good at, it's just easy. You're like for somebody to do what I'm doing, working on acting and doing music and being ready, like not you know, I mean, do it with excellence, you know,
Yeah.
because I play by ear. You know, I can listen to a song. I can my rehearsal time by myself isn't really not as long. You know what I'm saying? I can figure it out, and at the same time, I can work on my other things. So it just depends. You know, like I do both pretty well. So,
Yeah.
but find that one thing first. Get that one part down, whatever that is. You
Yeah,
know.
definitely. How do you keep your faith strong in the industry that sometimes pull people in further directions? How do you stay poured in because you're a man, you're a husband, you are a leader, you know, you're a caretaker, like you do so much. So how are you staying grounded when you
Yeah.
in the industry?
So the industry is definitely a trip. You know, it's pulling. It could pull somebody in all kind of directions. Um, Thank goodness that there are boundaries that have to be set. You know, like don't get me wrong. You know, I am a human being, and you come on these sets and you see very beautiful women. You see, I mean, everybody's attractive for the most, you know. So it's like, um, well, first of all, my wife and I we had the conversation, and it was like, look, you are not going to be having love making scenes.
Yeah,
Um, I talked to my agent and we talked about that as well. Like, these are the guidelines. These are the things. Don't put me in this, that, and the other. Because there were times where stuff was sent to me and I had to be like, I'm not doing that.
yeah,
Denied. And so it's just important to put those parameters in place. Like my agent has put me in the lane of being like, you know, a detective or cool dad or just something like that. You know, I want to keep that image, you know, because at the end of the day, I mean, I've turned out some things. I'm like, there's no, and the money was good, and I'm like, you know, I'm a preacher's kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got family, friends, like all that. Like, you do something that's not right, you might get paid or whatever, but you got to come home.
yeah,
You got to deal with all the backlash and all that kind of stuff. So, like, you know, I would love to give you some bunch of spiritual answers, but my thing is, if you put those principles in place, these are the things that is not going to happen. And I don't even have to worry about a certain role or whatever, like it's already understood. These are the things that's just not going to happen, you know? And so because I'm a man of faith, I'm just not going to take every well, and I'm gonna have to pass on some stuff. And that was really the way I got one of the roles that I did recently. I turned some stuff down, and I thought I was gonna get blackballed, but I was like, you know what? Oh well. And next thing you know, like 3 days later, boom, from the same casting director, and I got in the door. So it works.
Then I know God is faithful to you because you poured into so many people. So, God gonna give you favor, when you know what the right one, and you got a keen ear to him till you hear what he's saying, and you keep your faith and trust in him, and your relationship. So you know what's gonna feel right, what's gonna be before you. So I believe that is another thing that you got going for you. What does walking in your purpose mean to you on a daily basis?
um, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, you know, I seek direction from God. I start my day out. Lord, what is it that you want me to do, or give me? I'm always trying to get direction. I'm always trying to just stay in that lane. I know that at the end of the day, I'm going to be a light that shines. I'm going to be an example. I'm going to be a witness whenever the opportunity comes. Just be just a good human being. We need that nowadays. So, I want to be an example. I want to encourage people. I've always had that in my heart, especially when I'm dealing with, I come around the youth, that's just kind of been my lane, and, adults too, but that's my thing.
What's a experience or role or a time where your gift could be reached to people that you were on set with and that you made an impact in their life, and they either spoke about it, they told somebody else about it, or even mentioned it to you about it? Like, man, you made an impact in my life. Like, you helped me so much. Does that happen, or you got any specific times that happened?
Actually, on the set that I'm on now, I'm doing a Christmas movie called Christmas Owes Me Nothing. Started at the beginning of the month, and it won't be out this Christmas. It won't be out. It will be out next Christmas. But day one, I found myself having a conversation about the Lord with some of the cast members, and it's interesting because I come in a way that's like, it's just different. Like, I'm not trying to like bash somebody up the head with a Bible. The Bible says to be uh, um, like being wise. Talks about having wisdom. And my testimony is pretty much how I get people. And so somebody was talking about food and how I think he was talking about he gets sick over I think he was like lactose intolerant, the problems with dairy. And I'm telling you now, 3 months ago, I got delivered from that. I couldn't have no cheese, nothing like that. And I got the revelation, which came through the church I'm at, was at Excel Church. Pastor Darnell, shout out to you. He gave a testimony about his wife and how she got delivered from it. And the revelation was, why would God create something that would go against your body? Yeah. I mean, if you think of it, once you get that thing in your head, because he said, the Bible says that he gives us all things to enjoy, and he made animals and he made everything. So why would that fight against your body? And so I took a leap and was like, you know what? And let me tell you, 25 years of not being able to touch the stuff. I'm full of gold now. I gotta watch what I'm doing because like ice cream and stuff like that. Do it all, brother. But that was like my intro. I was like, you know what? I had the same issue, man. And you know what? But the Lord, he delivered me, because it was, the stronghold is in your mind. You know what I'm saying? So like what happened was, the first time I got really, really sick, I just had a random call, whatever. I was talking to my mom, and I was telling her how really sick I got. And she was like, you know what? Your sister's lactose, your brother's. So from that point on, that thing got in my head. And from that day on, I would get sick every time I touched stuff like that. And then that stronghold got broken. once I got the revelation that God didn't make us to, you know what I'm saying? Like everything he made was for us to enjoy. So next thing you know, I'm witnessing, having these conversations, man. And matter of fact, I was on set the other day and look, young lady, she posted something after I had a conversation with her because she wanted to get into acting. Next thing you know, I was like, look, I'm in Atlanta. There's like a zillion actors out here. And to get in the door, that was nothing but him. So stuff like that, I love having them type of conversations.
Yeah. What do you do in moments when things don't go as planned, whether acting or in life? How do you discern whether it's a test of God or if it's redirection from your path? Like, God is speaking to you like, yeah, you don't need that. It ain't that time. Or how do you deal with that?
Yeah, things definitely don't always go the way as planned. Um, but one thing I do that really helps me, I always remind myself of my past battles and victories. Like it's almost like a cyclical thing, whether it's financial or relational, whatever, like we've dealt with these things before, and it's like, Lord, I remember, when I didn't have nothing and I don't remember, and you never ever let me be in a position where I just was totally just done, like he's always brought me through. And, the Bible says that he works all things together for the good of them that love him and call according to his purpose. So, it gets tough, but at the same time, and like that's all you got. You got what's up here, and you got to remember, like he did it before, and you can't let those situations like just bog you down to the point where like you just give up on your faith and stuff like that. God said that in the book of Isaiah, I think it's chapter 46, he talks about he knows the end. He starts the end from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? So like he won't start something until he finishes it first. It's like the end of the story, the end of the movie. Like he knows. So like, why are you worried? You know what I'm saying? When like it's already done, there's an analogy that I heard a pastor say. He was like, a tour guide can't take you anywhere that they haven't been yet. If you go to Disney World or whatever, you got a tour guide and you're like, yeah, I'm going to show you this, 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 this. Like they've been to all them places. They already know what's going on. But they couldn't do that if they ain't been there before. So it's like the same for us. Like God already knows the end. He's just taking us through that pathway. You know what I'm saying? So like, like just don't give up on the faith. Yeah, things get tough. Just gotta keep going on. It's already taken care of.
Yeah. What would be your encouragement to young men who might need to know that walking with God is a good thing, and they shouldn't be worried about what other people say, or they might not even know how I look, because I believe that God is calling us at a time right now to stand up and be men after him, after his own, and be able to walk it. It's good to see people like yourself and see other people that's doing it, but for those that might don't have it or might just be starting from scratch, what would be your words of advice to them?
Yeah. Just being someone that's worked with teenagers for a long time, man, I understand that peer pressure is a monster. It's out there. They dealing with it all the time. And the thing with the youth is they struggle with fitting in. It's like in their minds, I will do whatever it takes to be accepted. And when you walk with Christ, it's a whole different ball game. Like instead of being influenced by others, realizing your purpose is to influence other people, not be influenced by others. No, it ain't easy, and I've been there before. I was in high school just trying to be cool, whatever. But the thing about it is that helped me out is growing up in church, like I was always around it, so I always had like this just a moral code inside of me. Like there was just things where I'm like, no, I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I failed, sometimes I didn't. But as I grew older, and that's what it is with the youth. Sometimes it may take them a little bit longer. Hopefully a seed is sown where, that's what it's all about. They're not going to forget about those things because we all want love. We all want to be accepted. We all want like all these things. And it's just tough because they're being bombarded like crazy, like with the internet and all that kind of stuff. I mean, adults too, but that acceptance thing, just kind of like getting over that, and just once they realize that, and sometimes it takes falling and falling and falling to realize, man, I don't want to do that no more.
Yeah.
And that's what really happens a lot with the youth, man. They don't listen. Sometimes they're rebellious. Next thing you know,
Yeah.
dang, you just hopefully it don't end up being a situation where it's a jail situation, death, or anything like that. You know, like you're gonna have to learn a lesson. But some people they get scuffed up once and they be like, oh, I ain't doing that no more.
Yeah.
So just be strong. You know, I know it ain't easy, but like, and even when you mess up, and you can always come back. Know that too, because sometimes people get so much conviction and just getting a revelation of like God's love, man. Like He will leave the 99 for the one. That's all that matters, you know. So
And I'm glad that you touched on that and said that about the seed because like a lot of people I talk to, even if it's the youth, even if it's young adults, even if it's, men, they sometimes find themselves dealing with a difficult situation where church hurt might be involved or something happened at the church or different people is leading them astray. I always say, because some of these people I grew up in the church or they was church so much when they're young. So now they getting old, they trying to run away from it. But it's still embedded in it. You can't forget something that you know already. So I be just praying that God be able to, reach them and be able to, draw them back near so they can form their own relationship. And I tell people, it ain't about what people say. Some people be thinking that to be saved, to have a relationship with God, you got to do certain things or you got to be right. God wants you just how you are. He like, come to me as you are, for He can have His will be done in their life. It ain't always, I got to wait till tomorrow. I got to make sure I get this. He wants you to come because He already know everything anyway. So that's the struggle. Sometimes they don't know how to form their own relationship because they looking on social media where this pastor said this, where this person said this. I can't do this. So now it's messing up their mind, and God is not the author of confusion. And that's what the enemy does, confuses them because now they're all over the place. So that be a thing that a lot of people is going through, like you said, with the social media, with a lot of different things, and people giving motivational speeches but putting God in it. So it's a lot of things that they have to watch over. So when I think about what you just said, I pray that a lot of them find that what was down inside, that they can tap back into that, reach back to their first love, which is God in Christ.
yeah, and I think I mean it's I don't think I would have survived my college years if I wouldn't have had mentors, people around me. And I didn't have like a whole bunch of people. It may have been like two, three people that love the Lord, and it was like keeping each other accountable, or just somebody I could talk to. Like I'm that type of dude. Like I'm always like, I guess you can almost call it counseling, but it was just a whole nother way. Like I had big brothers and just people that I could call when I was down and out or just feeling a certain way. And man, that thing just really just restores you, man. Like it is the best thing ever. Like don't ever isolate yourself. Don't ever be alone or have no one that you can't contact or something like that. We all need a big brother or somebody, not on our level, just somebody who did know way more than we do. That's why I have no problem talking to elderly people, man, because they've been there. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, growing up, we used to laugh at the older people, whatever. Like, man, okay, I had to figure stuff out. You know what I'm saying? Even with marriage and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
I spent most of my time when I was engaged just getting pointers and stuff because it was just like I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
But then again, like, is this the right? Am I doing this right? All that kind of stuff, man. So like, you got to have mentors. Kids need that, man. I don't care if it's a coach or just somebody. That's how you survive.
Yeah. When people look back at your life, your work, what do you want them to remember you as?
Oh, so many things, I guess. But most people that have known me throughout the years, I've always been like that mentor. That was the reason why I went into education in the first place. I just saw the need, man. Like, especially these young men walking around here have no father figures and just tough. So I'm a mentor. I'm a husband. Obviously, a man of faith. We always say man of God, but like I heard this guy say this too. He was like, we don't have a lot of men of faith like when times get tough?
Yeah.
Is your faith there? Like when the bills need to be paid or just whatever you're dealing with, where you ain't got no choice, your back is against the wall and you have to believe. Those are men of faith. Anybody can say man of God. People use that as a cliche, but we talking about those that have been through. Like my story, like purposely, like there's so many things that's been going on behind the scenes that I would just like, I'm still putting it together. Like I've made videos, like I ain't even like, I ain't even playing. Like I left a very good job, a very good job, and took a chance and moved to a whole nother state to pursue a dream. And 4 years later, things are moving. And like, I know people who didn't believe. I know people, I mean, there was a small group that was like, okay, man, and they probably had some little things. Sometimes I had to be like, God, well, I'm supposed to get out of here. I'm supposed to move. But I'm like, I'm already out here. Like I'm just, like someone said, if if you want to win a war or something like that, burn the boats. Like there ain't no retreating. You ain't going back to the boat. We going all the way in the land and we gonna fight this thing through. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm still fighting, you know what I'm saying? I'm still warring, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I'm at a point now where I have no choice but to rely on God. You know what I'm saying? I have a bachelor's and I have a master's degree and I'm acting. And I'm not using neither one of those right now. I mean, like, I'm totally just like, when you say using gifts and stuff, like, I'm relying on all that right now. And it has been a journey. Um, but my testimony, like, is just like, that's what I have. That's what I have to inspire people, man. Cause I know where I'm at, but I also know where I'm going. There's some things just going on in my head. Like, it's, it's big, and I can't wait to share it. And then we'll just see what happens, man. So yeah,
It just made me think of he who started a good work, God is faithful to complete it. Like, and I know even with you, and when you said that, I just start reminiscing on me and my transition moving down here. Cause I love Toledo, I love a lot of different stuff, but God was able to use me down here and I seen it by having faith, trusting in him. And it ain't just friends, people, it's family members that got little stuff to say, and you get to second guess yourself, and then it's like, man, so you gotta have that relationship with God. Like, in one of my like close mentors, Coach Rice, he was just telling me, like you said, ain't no retreating. He like, you already going, ain't no turning back. Like, so I was trusting God and to see him start doing this different stuff. And I'm like, God, you using me not in my own time, but then Jesus couldn't do miracles in his own time, so
there you go.
that's how that's how it is. So
Yeah, you got to take the leap, and that's where I think most people that want to do something big, that's where they kind of cut it off. You know what I'm saying? It's like they can't get out of their head. Like, I don't know if I can do this. You know what I'm saying? Like men of faith, we don't have all the answers. We just don't. We just step out there, you know what I'm saying? And one step at a time, and you just never know, man. Like there's a period of time of waiting that I think that throws people off. The Bible says that, through faith and endurance, receive the promise. Not only do you have to have faith, but there's a point in time when you just waiting. You don't hear nothing. You don't see nothing. You ain't getting no answers. You're walking blindly. You know what I'm saying? But you still walking.
yeah.
And that's the thing, like with God, you walk blindly. You do not see nothing. You know what I'm saying? You just got to just keep on taking one step at a time, man. And like I'm walking that road right now, but like he's giving me glimpses of stuff now. It's like, oh, okay, man. Okay, so I am on the right track. Okay, I see that. Well, waiting long enough, you know what I'm saying? But it's like I realize that people that's just trying to do what I'm doing, like takes way longer than 4 years to
Yeah.
get in the game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, I'm blessed. I got the blessing on and I got favor. And I didn't see that. There were times I didn't see. I think when I first got here, I did a few background things and then went cold. I didn't have an agent. It took me about 7 months, but still is pretty good actually for out here. But like, it was almost a whole year. I'm just sitting there like nothing, like nothing. Like did I make a mistake? And then next thing you know, boom, 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 boom. It's like 4 months in a row, like stuff just started hitting. Started getting more auditions and stuff like that, And now I'm averaging about one or so, one or two a week, which is still good. You know what I'm saying? Like some people don't get nothing for like years.
Yeah.
So like just walking blindly, but believing at the same time, man. It's a crazy walk, but it's one of them things like you're rather gonna be a man of faith or you're not.
Do you have you ever wrote a book or do you see a book in your future?
Yeah, I do. I got two that's out. I mean, I wrote them, man. It was a while back,
You an
man. But
author too? That's
yeah, man. I didn't like. I put it. It's like I put it out there, and then you start doing different things. Like I said, music started hitting all of us, and it was just like
yeah.
I wish I would have like a manager or something like that while I was in Toledo. It probably would have worked a little bit different, but he knew the plan. And so like he can redeem the time and all that kind of stuff. So here,
Yeah, yeah. Before we let you go, anything you want to say that comes to your heart, for the youth, for the people out there, actors, musicians, leadership, any of that? What's words of encouragement you could say to them?
I would just say, the path that we walk, especially in like the times that we living in, it's uncertain, for some people, but I believe that God's people, as long as we just stay in our lane, what I'm saying, and just trust and believe. And then, at the same time, like, don't be afraid to like step out there. Like, if you have a dream, like, don't be afraid to pursue it. Like, for real, like, just what you got to lose? You know what I'm saying? Like, you might as well. And only those that take chances are the ones that see the other side. Like there's something great on the other side, and just endure. Like there's some struggles, the things that happen, and like I know it get hard, but like a lot of that stuff the enemy put on your mind, and it's like uh, you can sabotage your own breakthrough. Take that time, man. Just like get with God. And I know it's like cliche or whatever, but like I don't know what else to do. You know what I'm saying? Just get with him. And then, there's some natural things that you got to do too. Like, God ain't going to lay nothing on your lap. Like, you got to, like, do your research. There's something that you can do that no one else can do like you. And so, in the kingdom of God, man, it's a lot of things are discoveries too. Like, you got to just stay in that lane, talk to God, man. And eventually something will come up, man. You might be wondering, is this you? Is this you? Like, try it. You just don't know. Like, you're not gonna hear hey, you need to go to school. There's something down in here, like it's that like, yeah, it feels right, like go for it. If anything, go for it. So yeah.
Yeah, but we're spotlighting you, like I said, for your being a man of God, being a great leader, all what you have done to impact people in the world, and that you're considering, continually doing it the right way. We pray that God just continue to bless you. May he give you favor in every arena that you walk. May you get the right roles. May the right people come to you. May you touch people's lives that's supposed to be drawn to you. And God is going to reclaim the time, definitely, because you've been so faithful. Like I said, the impact of what I used to see as a man, being young, being into sports, seeing somebody who did it, seeing them do it the right way. Because a lot of times people just be acting like they into church, into God, but you always did it the right way. And to just see the fruits of the seeds that you sown and how God is just being faithful to you, that he, continue to just follow him. He gonna be with you. And I'm proud of you. Like I said, seeing what God is doing is exciting for you. It gives me motivation, encouragement to continue to do what I'm doing and just trust in God. So I really appreciate you. I love you. You know what I mean? And I just know God gonna continue to do some amazing things, even some of the things that you can't share right now that you're gonna share later. So we just proud of you. So blessings to you and your family.
I appreciate that, man. Definitely. Yeah, things are definitely gonna move. I like to speak things that are not as though they already were. I throw it out there all the time until I see it. So I know it's already there. And so, continued blessings on you as well, man. Obviously, you know, your fruit is blessed. You're blessed, your wife, family, all that kind of stuff, man. And I pray that, you know, he reveals some things to you, you know, new horizons, new things, bigger things. And if it's something that you think is way too big or it's going to cost too much or whatever, that's probably it then. Just one of them things, you know, is it, if it's too easy to attain, it probably ain't got it, you know what I'm saying? So keep pressing. Don't be afraid to like ask. I got that revelation the other day. Like sometimes we be like, man, are we, you know, like God already knows. Why am I asking? Well, the scripture did say to ask.
Yeah.
And so, especially those that are within the faith, you know, a parent that has a child that asks for things, it's so much easier for them to say, sure, I'll give it to you. But if it's like Johnny walking down the street and say, hey, can you give me? That's different. Like when God's own, you know, his, you know, people that really have a relationship with him, you can ask and you can ask big, you know what I'm saying? So like, do it, man, and just watch how them doors open, man. And I just believe there's this favor on everything you're doing, man. And just keep up the good work, my brother. You doing it.
Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only Jesse Duckworth.
Yes, sir.